Hello and welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Well, the Olympic has been going on and Nigeria is waiting for her first medal at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, and we are hoping we'll get our first medal. Definitely, Team Nigeria will have gotten into our full strides, our area of strength, which is athletics. So far, so good. The events that have come our way in athletics, we have one finalist, but he couldn't make it. He couldn't win medal in the final. That is Chukwuebuka Enekwechi in the shot put, and in the women's 100 meters event where Favour Ofili was not registered for, we had Rosemary Chukwuma making it to the semi-final of that event. At the end of the day, she didn't make it to the final, where St. Lucia's for the very first time won that race, a small island country in St. Lucia, winning that race. Alfred, by her name, winning that race in the 100 meters women's event. And also for the 200 meters, thank God, we have Favour Ofili, who is through to the semi-final. She'll be running her own semi-final today, right there in Paris tonight, precisely. That event will be coming up. And then the 400 meters, as we speak, that event is about to start. The 400 meters men, we already have Samuel Ogazi through to the semi-final, while we're waiting for Chidi Okeze to qualify for the semi-final through repechage. It's just of recent they introduced that particular side of 400 meters race, and also in the 100 meter. In all races, we call it repechage, where athletes who have a better time record during the heat are given another opportunity to run and see how they can better their time and qualify for the various semi-finals of those races. So we are waiting for Chidi Okeze, African champion, to qualify from the repechage in the 400 meters men. We still have the likes of Toby Amuson waiting. The hurdles event has not started. We have Sebrume in the long jump, and then we have wrestlers, which a wrestling event, weightlifting has not started. So we're taekwondo is still there. We're looking at all these other areas where we're expecting medals. But for the women's football event, where is over for Team Nigeria, that's the Super Falcons. They bow out in the group stage, and our darling D Tigress progressing, making it to the quarterfinal, becoming the first African country when it comes to women's basketball in an Olympic event to get to the quarterfinal. Also, they actually have broken a lot of record in this Paris 2024 Olympic Games. So we will be looking at these and many more on the show. Okay, let's begin from the D Tigress story, where the D Tigress beat Canada, becomes the first African country to get to the quarterfinals of women's basketball event in any Olympic Games at all. You saw that score line on the screen. That is a 70-79 ended against Canada, and we have Abba Michael joining us on the show this morning. All right, before Abba Michael, okay, let's have Abba Michael before we listen to Rena Wakama Pyro before that game against Canada, after their loss in the hands of the host country, France. Michael, welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. We are starting from D Tigress, and we'll now look at other areas, Team Nigeria, our performances so far, where we are and where we are heading to. But for the D Tigress, let's start with the D Tigress. They did so well yesterday evening in their last group game against Canada. The first quarter was 18-18. The second quarter, Canada won. But in the third quarter, these girls, I don't know what happened, 23-5. They came out with firepower. They roasted the Canadians. And at the end of the day, they are through to the quarterfinals.
Yes, I mean, I was jumping up and down my seats. My people in my house thought I went crazy at the point because when it was 14-37 at halftime, I was like, oh my God, can we beat world number 5? We've beaten world number 3. Can we beat world number 5? And then suddenly Kamara took over the game. I mean, she drew the entire defense to herself, and that gave Ezine and Balogun free shots. And so they were penetrating, they were shooting, and then Ami Okonkwo was able to body all the centers. I mean, they have two big bodies in that team, and yet Ami Okonkwo was able to muscle herself through, and she was making points after points in the third quarter. I just couldn't believe it. I went haywire in my parlor, and everybody had to come out and say, what's happening? I said, Nigeria is about to make history. First basketball Olympics, male or female, of any African to get to the quarterfinals, and I was just glad that I was part of. I mean, that showing, that was a excellence. I must confess. I stand here. I sit here as a very happy man this morning, enjoying everything.
Okay, enjoying everything. Yeah, at some point from the first quarter, the Canadians came all over the D Tigress. They were everywhere. It actually ended 18-18. That is in the first quarter. And then the second quarter, they took the lead. They won the second quarter. But surprisingly, like you said, in the third quarter of that game, what really, Nigerian changed everything. The fortunes changed. They turned everything around. And it was 23-5, the highest score in the whole of the four quarters, 23-5, and that was the lowest score for the Canadians in any of the games they've played so far in Paris 2024.
Today's game, Nigeria.
Yes, I mean, it was they became unmatched in the third quarter. The girls came banging. I think the coach Wakama.
Okay, Coach Wakama actually
to be able to draw defense, and then for Balogun to set pick and rolls.
In the third quarter, they turned things around, and it was the highest score for the D Tigress. Let's take a listen. Let's take a listen to Coach Wakama after that game against France, where we lost in our second game, and then how they actually took that game, and then what she said before the game against Canada. Let's take a listen to Coach Rena Wakama.
So, Coach, the game today, I'm sure the results do not reflect what you wanted, but we'd just love to hear your thoughts on today's game, Nigeria's performance.
Yeah, we didn't play our game. We were not ourselves. What helped us secure that win on Monday, we didn't do today. So it's just extremely tough when we let a team shoot 56% on the floor in the paint. It's hard to beat anybody. So we'll get back to our ways. We have 72 hours to prepare, and we'll be ready for Canada.
And reflecting on that game against Australia, how much did it mean to make that kind of history, Nigeria's first win at the Olympics in 20 years?
Yep, I mean everything. But I didn't come here only to win game. I came here to get on the podium. So yes, I'm glad we were able to do it. But it's been done before. But what hasn't been done before is getting on the podium. So that's the goal.
Against Australia, you trapped extremely well and forced them into many turnovers. Was it just a different style of game that you played it differently defensively tonight, or you didn't trap as much?
Yeah, we couldn't. They were shooting the ball extremely well. So whenever you're able to break the pressure with making shots, it's kind of hard. So like I said, we didn't play our game today, and we'll be ready for Canada.
And so is the message for you from the team going to be more on energy and effort and this kind of thing rather than basketball specifics?
Absolutely.
Coach, do you try to forget about today's game, knowing that the game on Sunday is the most important one, so to speak?
Yep, absolutely. It's done. We'll learn from it. We'll watch film and cut it up, but we got to get the next game. So that's where I think it's going to go.
So, Coach, first female coach to win the AfroBasket. What sort of legacy do you plan on building?
I just want to, let everyone know that, we are more than capable of leading as well and coaching the game of basketball as well. So I hope I'm not the last. I know I'm the first, but I hope I'm not the last. So that's the legacy that I want to leave.
Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, we heard it all from Rena Wakama after that game against France. What she said, they were motivated after losing that game against France, heading into the game against Canada. Michael, for the D Tigress, like you mentioned, they made history, and whether male or female, when it comes to basketball in Olympics events, that is Olympic basketball event, we've made that history, becoming the first country in the continent, male or female basketball team, to make it to the quarterfinals of a basketball event. How big and how sweet is that? Okay, all right. And for the D Tigress, they'll be looking forward to see how they can wriggle it out from the quarterfinal games. And it's been, well, the news is they will be playing the #1 country in the world when it comes to basketball. That is US in the quarterfinals event. Let's quickly, if we can have that fixture, we have that fixture. If we can have it, we'll bring it. We'll bring it straight to the screen. Let's see the fixture. But for the D Tigress of Nigeria, we will be playing USA in the quarterfinals game. So how, if we're looking at this, the way the D Tigress have fared so far at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, I think we can actually get it right. We can get it right against the #1 team. If we can beat the #3 team in the world, who says we cannot beat the #1? We defeated the Opals of Australia. They are the #3 team in the world. Okay, we have the quarterfinals pairing on the screen. As you can see, we have Serbia. All games will be played on Wednesday. We have Serbia against Australia. We have Spain, that is Espanyol, against Belgium. We have Germany against France. That's a very big one, a tough one, the tough pairing, Germany-France in the quarterfinal. And we have our own darling team, the D Tigress of Nigeria, taking on the United States of America in the quarterfinals. And once, if we can get the better of US, definitely a podium finish is what we are looking at, definitely in the basketball women's event, which is what we're actually praying and hoping it happens for the D Tigress. We continue to make history. We continue to progress. Already we've made history to become the first team, male or female, to get to the quarterfinals of the basketball event in Olympics. Now we will be taking it a step further if we become the first African country to win a medal in basketball event of Olympics, just the way we did it in football 28 years ago, right there in Atlanta, 1996. We became the first African footballing nation, that is men, to win Olympic gold in a men's football event. We can also do it in basketball, becoming the first African nation to get a medal when it comes to basketball in Olympics. That is what we are looking at for the D Tigress, and we are hoping we get the first medal of the Paris Olympic Games. We have actually gotten into our area of strength, that is athletics, but we've not gotten any medal in athletics. We still have events. All right, Michael, we will be playing the US women in the quarterfinal. We've beaten #3. #1 is staring at us in the quarterfinal come Wednesday.
Yes, I mean, we are going against the favorites. I don't know why we should be meeting them in the quarterfinals. Perhaps our village people have followed us all the way to Paris, but I just wish we met any other team. I can guarantee you that with the energy in the ladies, the momentum they have built, they would have been able to carry it to the next victory. But like you said, who says we cannot beat them? In short, I want to chant what Nigerians always chant, the army and the sportsmen who say we no go, we no ayaya. I mean, why can't we win them? I know that they have Aja Wilson. I mean, they have Brianna Stewart. These are the top dogs. They have Ionescu, the best shooter in the world. Everything best. They have it in the world. But who says we cannot beat them? I mean, if Coach Wakama can maintain these tactics, all we need from our girls is just to maintain high efficiency shooting. The US are known for a formidable defense. They have a very formidable defense. That's the only thing that may count against us. But offensively, we can match them pound for pound. I want the coach to use Kamara very well in the quarterfinals against the US. Ensure that Balogun and Ezine use what we call screen and roll or the pick and roll, just to ensure that they're able to get free shots. And we will need them to make quick release. It may be difficult to take down the centers for the US. I mean, they have a 6'8" center she'll be very difficult to beat. But I believe that if we can maintain this, maybe we should just upset them. Remember that in the US, before they came for Olympics, a certain Ajoke of the WNBA scored 34 points on this same US team. I wonder why Coach Makama couldn't get to her to bring her to the Tigress. I believe if she were here, it would have been a no-brainer. But I believe against all odds, if we did it against Brazil and Argentina in 1996, I believe we can do it. It's just all about self-belief. Look at what South Sudan did. But we need to support the girls, motivate the girls, psych the girls. I mean, the president even needs to have a Zoom conference with the girls, the way we are doing right now, to charge them to victory. Everything it takes, every motivation it takes, if they can even promise them money, that for this match alone, you'll be giving £5,000. Let them do it to see if it will work for these girls to be able to grind out that victory.
Okay, to be able to grind out that victory, motivation is the key against the U.S. national women's team of basketball team. Well, for the Tigress, they have a big heart, that spirit of never say die. In Nigeria, we'll be there, and the motivation will be what it is. They just have to keep focused, keep their heads on ground, and then look at the loopholes in the U.S. team where they can exploit, and then they should up their game. Who says we cannot beat number one? We've beaten number 3. We can take it further by beating number 1 in the world and get to the semi-final and create history. Podium finish is what we're looking at. All right, still talking about the Olympics. I will be giving you updates of events, Team Nigeria most especially. Let's go straight to the track now. We'll talk athletics. Good news. She failed to appear in one after negligence from some persons. Investigation is still ongoing in that particular incident, for that particular incident, but this time around, we saw a brand new, different Favour Ofili on the track in the 200 meters event during the heat, and she made it through to the semi-final after executing her race in a time of, she won that race in a time of 22.24 seconds in her own heat, and she's straight to the semi-final, where we'll be expecting her to take it a step further also and get into the finals of the 200 meters women's event. Michael, this is a lady who has been spitting fire since she was not registered for the 100 meters race. She's still asking questions. She wants those who actually denied her of 4 years of preparation for the 100 meters Olympics event. They should be punished for that. And then definitely she put that behind her, and we saw her on the tracks in the 200 meters race women's event, qualifying to the semi-final, 22.24 seconds. Big one, beating the likes of Smith in that race.
Yes, I mean, she beat Dina Asha Smith and I think Dina Bash also. So she was able to beat those two top dogs in the 200 meters. Had it been she had the opportunity to run the 100, I can assure you that Favour Ofili would have at least gotten to the 100 meters Olympic finals. And not just that, she would have been able to come at least the first 5. Because if you look at the way she's been running, she's been winning meets. She's been won in Atlanta. I mean, she set the African record in 150 meters in 16.37 seconds. She is actually back to her 2021-2022 NCAA form when she came second behind this same Olympic gold medalist, Julian Alfred. She and Ofili were the ones dominating the American circuit 2 years ago. And so both of them are back to their best. Julian Alfred has won the 100. I believe that Ofili would have been at least 4th or 5th in that 100-meter finals had it been she had the chance. However, now that she's running the 200, she was able to beat 2019 world champion Dina Asha Smith and, of course, Dina Bash. 22.24 is a very good season's best for her so far. I want to see her crack her personal best of 21.97 seconds, which she has. Favour Ofili is back to her best. I'm glad that no injuries this time, no interruptions this time. I see her getting to the finals, and I even see her, she's a potential medalist. Apart from Julian Alfred, maybe Gabby Thomas of the US, maybe Mackenzie Long. These are the 3 ladies that may give her a problem when it comes to podium finish. But for the semi-finals, I can assure you, I can beat my chest to tell you that she is definitely going to scale through the semis. But we had a bronze medal in Atlanta 96 by Mary Omunyali Omagbemi. I hope that I think Mary ran a 22:03 to get a bronze, if I'm not mistaken. But I believe that Favour Ofili has what it takes to give us that 21.96 or even a 22:0 will be enough for her to get to the finals before we're now talk about getting medals. Thank God, Sherika Jackson and Shirley and Fraser Price are nowhere to be found. So it's an opportunity for her to step up and get a podium finish for the first time in God knows when over 100 million Nigerians were not born.
Okay, from what I saw in that 100 meters, let's just switch a little bit. Let's go back a little bit. That 100 meters where Julian Alfred won, I saw that race. If Favour Ofili had qualified for the final, in my own opinion, I believe she would have been able to muscle that race, come second or third, or probably, because Julian Alfred start, if you look at her start, fine, she got the start very well, and Favour Ofili also got have a very good start. But I believe both ladies would have been running, maybe first or second would have been for Favour Ofili, because when I saw that race, I saw a chance that Favour Ofili would have gotten a medal in 100 meters.
Yes, I mean, we will find out after her 200-meter race because we know that 200 meters is her major strength. If she's able to even get a fourth position in 200 meters, I can assure you that if she had been in that 100-meter finals, she would have been able to get a medal. Because Sha'Carri Richardson had a very terrible start and she could not catch up with Julian Alfred. The only reason why Julian Alfred won that 100 meters was because Sha'Carri Richardson had a poor start. She almost beat the gun, so she jerked from the blocks, and by the time she moved, she had already lost about 0.15 seconds already. So, and it took her even 60 meters to be able to catch up with the rest. She was able to close down on every other athlete except Julian Alfred as at the 90th meter. So she had a very poor start. Ofili would have been able, I believe she would have been able to get a medal. But if she can just get even a fourth place finish in the 200, then I can assure you that yes, she would have been able to get a medal in the 100 because she is supremely confident. But we must also give kudos, to Favour Ashe, who says her brother also. He had a 10-0 in the semi-finals. Of course, he did very well. And then Kain Shola had a 10-0 in the heat, and of course a 10-0, I think, in the semi-finals. We must give them their flowers. They did very well. That 100-meter field was too dangerous. Too many elite athletes. I wait until we get to that conversation before I talk more about it.
Okay, all right, until we get there, but for Favour Ofili, while expecting her to qualify for the finals of the 200 meters women's event. Still talking athletics, and in Paris Olympics, let's go to the 400 meters as we speak. The 400 meters semi-final, and then the repechage event will be coming up right there in Paris, France. But we'll look at two Nigerians who are in there. We'll have one, Samuel Ogazi, already through to the semi-final, and Chidi Okeze will have to qualify through the repechage. Now, for Samuel Ogazi, indeed fantastic athlete, a personal best of 44.50 seconds to book his place in the semi-final.
Yes, Samuel Ogazi is the next big thing since Innocent Ugbonike in 1987. We've not had any athletes in the 400 meters deep below 45 for a very, very long time. We had Sunday Bada, we had Sunday Emmanuel, we had Godday James, we had Saul, we had Noah, my very good friend Noah. He's currently with the U.S. Army. We had all of them. They were all running 45. We just couldn't get a 44 runner. I think Godday James once had a 44.96, and that was all. But most of our quarter milers in the 90s, in the 2000s, we could not get a 44 runner. But Chidi and, of course, Samuel Ogazi have proven that they are trying to bring back the glory days of the 1980s. That was when we had 44 runners. And for Samuel Ogazi, I remember he was in Plateau about less than 2 years ago. I interviewed him. I covered him. He won the Plateau State Athletics Championships in 2022 with a time of 47 or so. He ran a 47 or 48. in the finals. I interviewed him afterwards. I did the media coverage for that event, and I'm so happy to see him blossom. I still have videos of him. I'm so happy to see him rise so fast in less than 2 years. I mean, he has gotten right to the apex, to the top of the 400 meters. He came second behind Quincy Hall, the United States champion, and I think if he can maintain that same 44.5 that he ran, I believe a 44.5 will take him to the finals.
Yes.
And of course, in the finals, he will meet a certain Michael Norman, who is waiting for him. He's also going to meet a certain Hudson Smith of the UK. So why not? But I see him getting to the finals.
Okay, we see him getting to the finals. We're still worried for. But for Chidi Okezie, quickly, I also expected Chidi Okezie to get the automatic spot. But this time around, he has to just go through the repechage. This is a man, personally, I rated Chidi Okezie ahead of Samuel Ogazi. But I think right now, Samuel Ogazi has proven me wrong because I gave Samuel Ogazi the chance to go through. I was expecting both of them to even go through at the same time. But for Chidi Okezie, what really went wrong for him?
Yes, I mean, sometimes it happens. It's unfortunate that the day of the heat was not his best day, but I can assure you that Chidi Okezie is a fighter. If peradventure he gets this repechage and gets the qualification, I can assure you that we are expecting a 44 from him, a sub 45. That's another one I can assure you of that, because he's a tiger. He fights to the finish. He is very mean when it comes to winning. He won the African Championship as in the first Nigerian for more than 20 years. I'm not sure any Nigerian has won that. And I think Samuel Ogazi had the bronze. Samuel Ogazi was not at his best during the African Championships, but Chidi Okezie was at his best. So we are praying that Chidi Okezie discovers his 44 high self, so that we can see two Nigerians, get to the finals. And I want that his 44 seconds to drop, because we need it for the 4x4 event. We have top teams that will square up against. My target for the team is not really the flat, but the 4x4. So I will need Chidi. Already we have a Dubem, the two Dubems who are running 45. So if we have two 44s, we have a chance in the 4x4. But for now, Chidi Okezie, we pray it favors him. Let him get through what they call the fastest loser. I pray that he qualifies.
Okay, we pray that he qualifies for that semi-final event. As we speak, those events will be up and running, and later on we will see Favour Ofili in action later on tonight in the 200-meter semi-finals for the women. And we are still expecting hurdles to start. Wrestling, we have weightlifting to come, where we are still looking at taekwondo. We have our own Elizabeth Ayana Cho in taekwondo. So we are still expecting Nigeria to get her first medal. Still talking about the Olympics, let's go straight to the ministry now, where the sports minister has actually commended Team Nigeria so far for our outing, despite we've crashed out from a lot of events. We have 12 sports that we're participating in. Super Falcons has gone home. The table tennis team, badminton, boxing team, all of them have crashed out. But the Tigers and co, they are still carrying on. They are still carrying the flag of the country high right there. And we're still expecting a lot to come in athletics. Already we've lost 3 events in athletics. We've lost the 100 meters women. We've lost the shot put. We've lost discus women, where we have Choma Onyekwere and co, and then also the high jump, where Adeshina couldn't make it through. So we still have other track events that are coming up. Let's say Brume, we still have Ruth Usoro and co in there. Then we have Toby Amuson, where our hope really lies on in the 100 meters women's hurdle. But right now, despite all of this, the minister has commended Team Nigeria so far for their powerful showing.
Yes, it's good to have a government presence. I think during the swimming event, I saw the president of France in the stadium. There is a certain Lilian Marchand of France that I think he has won 2 or 3 gold medals in the swimming already. I saw the president jumping up and down in the stadium. I said, wow, look at government presence. He didn't sit in his Oval Office and be making comments that, yes, thank you for making us proud. He was able to go to the stadium. I know that they are the ones hosting, But what I expect, I don't know if the minister is there already. I don't know the government contingents that are present in the stadium. But I can assure you that that alone is virtually the highest motivation these athletes desire. I wish if he's not there, he should take a flight to Paris. Go and meet these athletes one-on-one. Go to the Games Village. Your sports minister is here. Come and address them. When they see you and then maybe a representative from the president, wow, they'll be like, President Tinubu, one eye is on protest, one eye is in Paris. Wow. PP. I believe that that would go a long way in motivating the athletes, especially the Tigers. And of course, we're expecting Toby and Musan's hits to start maybe as from tomorrow.
Okay, for Toby Amuson's heated as from tomorrow. All right, the minister has actually commended Ofili, Ogaze, and others for their powerful showing the Tigers alongside since the games started. It's the 9 days of an event, and Team Nigeria is yet to have a medal. We will still get to that. We'll look at the medal table. Now, let's go to the big one that happened yesterday night, where the likes of Favour Ofili and Kaisola didn't make it to the finals because it was a star-studded semi-final event for both Nigerian 100 meters athletes, but they tried, they gave it their best. The last in Tokyo 2020, we have Djokovic in the final, but he was injured in that race in the final, and it was a DNF for Djokovic. We're expecting to have a repeat of that back-to-back, where we'll have Nigerian qualifying for the 100 meters men's final, but it didn't happen. At the end of the day, one man, showman, they call him, Noah Lyles, winning that event with a 0.005, a 5,000 of a second to take the Olympic 100 meters men's gold. For Noah Lyles, he continues to defy the odds, winning the 100 meters gold men's event.
I mean, I must confess, I have watched Maurice Green win a world championship in 97, in 99, and Edmonton in 2001, Seville 99, and Athens 97. I mean, I watched Justin Gatlin win Athens Olympics 2004, and of course, Helsinki World Championships in 2005. I watched Usain Bolt win Olympics after Olympics, World Championships after World Championships. But I have never seen an athlete in my life with the confidence of Noah Lyles. I mean, let us call it what it is. That guy is a beast. For two athletes to be running faster than him, Oblique Seville 982, Kishan Thompson 977, and even in the heats and the semis, they were running faster than him. Yet, when it mattered most, when the whole world switched the lights on to watch who will become the undisputed fastest man on the planet, that was when Noah Lyles came up and showed that when it's all said and done, when it matters the most, I am the king of the tracks. I'm just wishing that he was in the generation of Tyson Gay, Usain Bolt, Asafa Powell, Johan Blake. That generation, I feel if he was in that generation, he wouldn't have been able to do this, because all those four guys I mentioned ran faster than him. I'm a fan of Noah Lyles, but Noah Lyles, I must let you know that if you were in the former generation, except you prove us wrong in subsequent events, you are nowhere to be found in the medal table, because a Gatling will give you 975, a Blake will give you 973, a Tyson Gay will give you 971, Usain Bolt will give you 964. So he is lucky that he's running in a generation where the athletes are not in a golden age. But we must give him his flowers. He's the fastest man on the planet. He's my favorite athlete. I believe he's the best in the world right now. But I must tell you, he has more confidence than all those legends that I just mentioned. None of them matches Noah Lyles' confidence. As far as, see the way he ran, he charged the atmosphere of that Olympic stadium before the race. People get tense before a race. Noah Lyles is charging. And I must say this is the fastest 100 meters finish ever. Last position, 9.91. Can you beat that? That has never happened before. Even the 2012 Olympics that we call the best race ever, where Usain Bolt ran a 9.70, Johan Blake 9.75, Gatlin 9.79. Fourth position in 2012, ran a 9.80. And then, of course, the guy from Great Britain ran 9.88 as fifth. We only had one person run 10.0, which was Tyson Gay also in that Olympics. No, Tyson Gay ran a 9.80 for fourth position. Now, fourth position in 2012 was enough to almost get a gold medal in this last night's race.
Yes, of course.
Noah Lyles ran a 9.7894, while the other one 9.9789, something like 5,000th of a second. It is the greatest 100-meter race in Olympic finals that we have ever seen, going pound for pound, knowing that you cannot pick who will win a race. This, to me, is the greatest 100 meters we have ever seen. Oblique Severe ran a 9.91. Bednarek is coming back for the 200 meters. But man, I'm so happy that I was part to be able to watch that race live, that execution. It will continue to be talked about for ages.
Yes, it will continue to be talked about ages. For Noah Lyles, he's on top of the world right now. Let's move away from Noah Lyles and quickly look at another greatest event that happened. And it was two great guys in the finals. That is a tennis final now. When Novak Djokovic, everybody is now saying he's the GOAT, the greatest of them all when it comes to tennis. Novak Djokovic winning the Olympic gold medal in tennis after beating Alcaraz 7-6, 7-3, 7-6, 7-2 in Paris, France. For Novak Djokovic, I think he has everything that is left to be won in tennis. Everything is now at his grasp. He has everything. If you go to his medals room right now, the only thing that was missing is an Olympic gold. Now he has that in his medals collection. Michael, Novak Djokovic beating Alcaraz after Alcaraz beat him at the Wimbledon final just some months ago.
Yeah. Yes, talking about Novak Djokovic. Wow, I am, should I say, the happiest man on the planet. I've been watching Novak Djokovic. I've been his fan since when he was world number 16. I mean, when Federer and Nadal were dominating the circuit, I wasn't even a fan of theirs. I was a fan of a teenage Novak Djokovic who was about to turn 20. And I've followed him ever since. He has gone on to win a whopping record 24 Grand Slam titles. I mean, can you beat that? I mean, surpassing the greatness of Roger Federer and, of course, Nadal. Novak Djokovic, this Olympic gold medal has been eluding him for years. And we are glad that he has finally gotten it.
Okay, we are glad that he has finally gotten it. All right, let's move ahead and quickly look at the medals table. We can tell you for free that Team Nigeria is occupying the last position on the medals table. But let's just look at the first 20 countries on the medals table. United States is at the top right now with 19 gold medals, 71 in total. They have 26 silver, 26 bronze. And then we have China second with 19 gold medals, 15 silver, 11 bronze, and 45. We have Germany occupying the 10th position with 5 gold, 5 silver, 2 bronze, in total 12. France, the host country, 3rd. Australia, 4th. Great Britain, 5th. South Korea, 6th. Japan, 7th. Italy, 8th. And Netherlands, 9th position with 6 gold medals, 5 silver, 4 bronze, and 15 in total. Let's go to the second side of it quickly and see this 11th position is being occupied by Canada, 5 gold medal, 4 silver, 17 in total, and we have Nigeria occupying the 62nd position, the last on the table, with 0 gold, 0 silver, 0 bronze, and 0 in total. That is how things are standing on the medals table for Paris 2024 Olympic Games day 9. And later on by tomorrow, we'll be looking at day 10 table at the close of all events today. We still have other events, medal events coming up today. We have semi-finals And we are going to have the 200 meters final race for the women today also, and we'll be looking at also the 400 meters final after the semi-final. We pray that Chidi Okeze and Samuel Ogaze makes it to the finals. We speak, those races are going on for the 400 meters men's event. All right, let's move away from that, come back to the continent of Africa and talk basketball, where the FIBA qualifier, under 18 FIBA qualifiers, that is the African zone, the continent is ongoing. And for the junior D Tigers, they qualify for African Championship, will be coming up in South Africa. A good one, they blew away the host country, that is Cote d'Ivoire, 70-60 after 2 wins. Now they defeated all of their opponents in the qualifying rounds. That for the D Tigers, and also our junior D Tigers also doing, both teams representing us well at in Cote d'Ivoire.
Yes, I mean, I'm glad that they are picking momentum from the top senior national teams. I mean, the Tigers and of course the Tigress. We are obviously for the first time having a formidable, I mean, cadet development grade in basketball. I'm very, very happy that we are not only waiting for athletes or players to become established in the NBA or Europe. I mean, before we invite them to the national team. I mean, we've been able to catch them young, despite the crisis in the FIBA, despite the crisis in the NBBF, Nigerian Basketball Federation. I'm glad that we're still able, I mean, to pick up the pieces, despite Sadiq Umar and of course Tijani are still fighting for the seat 5 years running. I'm glad that we're still able to pay attention to the important things, which is the athletes. Those ones are busy doing politics, but I'm glad that the part of the athletes, part of the players is not suffering. And this is a very good one. They should be given more motivation. I mean, everything they need should be provided for them. The coaching, the psychological, the mental strength, help them to develop. At least the female, the Tigress in Olympics now are giving them an encouragement that, I mean, if you do very well, if you perform at your best, you can also be in Olympics and the whole world will be watching you. I think that, to me, should be what the coaches should be saying to the athletes now. That you see these ladies in Olympics right now, qualifying for the quarterfinals, 1 match away from medal contention. That is where you can find yourself if you put in the hard work and commitment. So that's what I expect.
Okay, that's what we expect for the junior D Tigers and D Tigresses. True to the for the junior D Tigers, they have already qualified for the African Championship. That is the FIBA African Championship that will happen in South Africa. And if they get it right there, they will qualify for the under-19 FIBA World Championship. All right, let's move ahead this morning. Let's look at some transfer stories on the show. Let's look at this one. We go straight to the German Bundesliga, where Bayer Leverkusen targets defender Joel Matip. This guy left Liverpool, left the Reds, but this time around, Bayer Leverkusen, the team that won the title last season, actually looking to beef up their team and see if they can defend the title they won and also do well in Champions League. Michael, quickly, before we move over to the next transfer story, for Bayer Leverkusen, a lot of persons say they cannot repeat what they did last season in the German Bundesliga, but it looks as if they are buying players to beef up that team, whilst some of the players are want to find their way out of the team because big teams are already tabling their money. But this team looks so determined to defend the title they won last season, because with some of the recruitments they are doing right now, it shows that this team means business under Alonso. All right, for Joel Matip, let's see if definitely he can join up with Bayer Leverkusen in the German Bundesliga. If that deal goes through, then it's going to be a good one for the man who left Reds. He has seen it all in Liverpool. He has won the Premier League. He has won the Champions League. He has won the Cup in England. That is the FA Cup in England. So what is left there to win? Let me go elsewhere and try out my luck. All right, let's move over to the next transfer story. AC Milan tables 15 million euros for Tottenham defender Emerson Royal. He was there with the Samba boys during the Copa America. Fantastic guy. Let's see if Tottenham are going to accept the 15 million euros that AC Milan has offered. All right, Michael, I was talking about Bayer Leverkusen before the AC Milan story. With the kind of recruitment, a lot of persons say they cannot defend the title they won last season, or they cannot repeat what they did last season and even in Europe. Do you see Bayer Leverkusen, because they've actually acquired some good player and they are looking to see if they can snap up Joel Matip, former Liverpool defender?
I mean, they still have what it takes. The good thing is Xabi Alonso is still there. The coaching management is still maintained. The structure is still there. Had it been maybe Xabi opted to go to a certain Liverpool or maybe a change of team, maybe the story would have been different. But when you have the same philosophy, no matter what, I believe they still have what it takes to repeat, because the team has not been shaken. There's not been so much exodus. And so they've rather been acquiring one or two additional signings. I expect them to even repeat. I know Bayern Munich, who are grudging for losing that league after 13 years, they are like Oliver Twist. They don't want to give it to anybody. But I tell you what, Bayer Leverkusen is here to stay. I still see them making another run for this upcoming season. I still see Xabi Alonso winning. I remember when Arsenal did unbeaten run the very next season, 12 straight matches without a loss before we capitulated to Man United. So there's something about winning that it spurs you, you feed off the energy even up to the next season. So I believe that they can still repeat.
Okay, we believe we can still repeat. Let's take the last one on the show before we go. Borussia Dortmund striker Füllkrug scaled West Ham United medical, and for West Ham United, they are also doing well in the transfer market, buying one or two players to beef up that team. All right, that is what we'll be leaving it on the show. Michael, thanks for joining me on the show 360 Sports, and we wish the likes of Samuel Ogazi, Chidi Okeze, and Favour Ofili later on tonight, at least to do well in their respective event. 400 meters, like we speak. The 400 meters event is up and running, and for Favour Ofili, she will be running her semi-final race later on tonight, right there in Paris, France, where we also expect our other team, Nigeria, to do well. Wrestling is still yet to come. For Toby Amuson, tomorrow, I will believe the hurdles will start, and then we'll have the weightlifting and every other races and track event for Team Nigeria. Thanks, Michael, for joining us on the show.
Yes, thank you very much. Best of luck to our athletes as they take to the tracks for the semis.
All right, as they take to the tracks for the semi. That is it on 360 Sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Say thanks for watching.